Yeah, well, I was going to talk to you about digital fabrication and education from a scientific point of view. And first I would like to introduce our research group and what we do, what our findings are, what our research goals basically are. So we are called Digital Media and Education, and we were founded in 2001, so 12 years ago, by Professor Heidi Schellhove. She has a diverse background. At first, she's an educated teacher and taught for a couple of years, and then she got back to university and studied computer science. And when we approach, and then became a professor, and when we approach a topic or a new question, we always think of it in various kind of ways and have various kinds of backgrounds in our research group, just to, I don't know, make you, give you a better understanding how we sort of approach or do our research. There are 15 employees, permanent employees, plus PhD students, student volunteers, and our research fields are, well, we are in the Department of Computer Science and Mathematics, but we research also in digital media, informatics, pedagogy, sociology, and cultural studies as well, and so is our team. So we are from various backgrounds. Mine is computer science, his is digital media, but we also have teaching and pedagogy and sociology. So being at the university means that we are also involved in teacher education, and we work a lot with schools, the workshops there, work with the children, work with the teachers, and also educate future teachers. Our broad research field in that area is that we try to integrate and sustain digital media as a subject of learning in education for adults as well as students, and also establish extracurricular activities like our workshops. I'm just going to dive into that on the next slide. And by doing that, we try to find methods and hints on how we should design and teach digital media to children and teenagers. I'm just going to show you how our workshops work, basically. We do this kind of workshops 10 years by now, and what we try to accomplish is to get them engaged, to get children and adults engaged in digital media, in making them, empower them, enable them to take part in our digital enhanced life right now, and prepare them to view digital media as a critically, of course, and also empower them to actually create it, because that's digital media is about. You can post online whatever, you can create the media yourself, unlike television or anything. So so in this video, you get first hints on how this workshop works. Each workshop has about 12 to 20 participants and 2 to 3 authors, which are a student normally, and 2 researchers, one for evaluation and one for technical and pedagogic stuff. We try to have an informal setting in which the kids can freely interact and set their own goals and try to accomplish them within 1 to 5 days. It really depends on the topic. Every workshop has a topic that relates to the daily life of the kids, like for instance biology with sensors and actuators and all those animals that can do amazing stuff, like bats or dolphins, how they communicate and they build their own sensory animal. Then sometimes it's magic, sometimes it's Halloween, it really depends. And interactive storytelling we have as well. Therefore we collaborate with, sometimes it's dancers, athletes, we had sports workshops, and as you can see, the technology we use is basically, or mostly, it's Arduino and LilyPads. Those are microcontrollers that you can just plug into cables, conductors like cables, and put sensors to it, and then connect it with actuators. So, and program it finally. We have our own programming environment developed that they use, and kids from 8 years old to 14, maybe 16 years old, they actually do it. They we use tinkering material, and the main idea is that they are they set their goal. We do brainstorming sessions with them, and according to the topic, they come up with an idea of a project, and then they sort of, with the technology introduced, they try to build an artifact with it. And in the end, they have a presentation with local press and parents, and to get acknowledged for what they did and recognized. So yeah, and per year, I don't know, we have maybe about 5 workshops, and the concept we follow with that has been developed and evaluated constantly since about 10 years, almost as we started. Okay.
This one is the Arduino.
What kind of software?
It's not
This is RoboLogo. This is one of the old workshops, but we often use Amici. You can download it from the internet, from our website. It has been translated, I don't know, in 6 languages by now, and it's open source, and it's a visual programming language. So you can basically drag and drop.
Sorry, what was the name?
Your elements. Amici. Yeah.
And the other one?
That's RoboLogo, but that's deprecated, I guess. We don't use it anymore because we change it. Our strategy from working at first, we worked with Lego, and then we figured that mostly boys are interested in using that, and we are very conscious about gender and diversity aspects, so we wanted to open up a little bit, and so the topic changed, and now we are working with more neutral materials like conductive yarn and textiles, and work with fashion designers. Okay, so there they are peer teaching, actually. That's an Arduino microcontroller.
Well, are they using the software from Arduino as well?
No, we put on Amici on top of. You can use it with Arduino. At first we did. We had experiences with that, but we didn't find it that easy to use for small kids. It is. Yeah. Okay. I think we can stop here. So those are the projects they come up with. Sometimes you saw some T-shirts. It's like when it's dark, the lights at the T-shirts go on and show you some light. and that that soccer shoe you see over there, it it shows if you hit the ball with the right angle and power. And what else we got? In the middle we got that bag. When somebody rips it off your shoulder, there's an alarm going on. So it's thief-proofed. And then in the bottom, that green thing that is a future foreseeing turtle. And it tells you the future, basically, based on, yeah. It's more like if you read the daily newspaper and those signs you're on. So today it's up for, I don't know, yeah. And those are, what's important to us, that those artifacts, that the idea is brought by the kids. So that it's personal, meaningful to them, and they are motivated to learn about it and to finish the project, basically. And the glove makes music, by the way. Yeah. So, feeding you with some background, our learning goals are pretty easy, but not so easy, because we want them to learn, or we think what they should learn is about the underlying concepts of digital media, but not use a specific project, an application like PowerPoint or Facebook or whatever. It's more like getting the idea what a social network is about, and then you can use anything, and you know about the features, and you know about the challenges and the consequences of your own actions. So it's more about getting an idea about the concepts and the models itself, and to empower them to change the digital media themselves. And this means also that we would like, or we try to evoke a reflection on their own actions and see if that is really what they would like it to be. What are the consequences when I put out my, I don't know, bikini photos on Facebook? Who can actually see it? Is that really what I want? And is the Wikipedia source valid? How can I, and I only know that when I know how Wikipedia works and how Facebook works. So we try to get the basic understanding transferred. By that, you have actually flexible knowledge and a basis where you can interact and grow with that daily life technology all around us, because it is changing itself and we need to change with it. That's what we call design for reflexive experience, basically. Okay, for the learning part, we use two concepts we found suitable, or we think are suitable. One is from Ackermann, who thinks that cognitive growth, or gaining an understanding of something, is a dance or a circular movement of phases of immersion and reflection. So as you saw in the workshops in the video I showed you, it's more like diving into something, get engaged, get emotional, explore yourself, and then stepping back, reflect your own actions, learn by that, make your consequences, raise new questions, and then dive in again to explore, and on and on and on. So how we can actually do that? You might have heard about this guy. He's Simo Papert. He's one of the founders of constructionism, and he is, or used to be, like Ackermann, a constructivist. And he thinks that abstract concepts, as we want to teach, are basically can be taught by hands-on activities. So it's actually learning by doing, learning by making, and yeah, you probably see where this is going to you saw that in the workshops video as well, to create personally meaningful objects to think with, they call it. And of course for Fab Lab, we are here because we want to talk about Fab Labs and design Fab Labs. It sort of seems to be a good match, learning by making. Yeah, of course, what we also are aiming for is not to teach something through technology, but also make technology a subject to learning. So then, but basically, that's all about our research activities are based on. And these are some of our current and recently finished projects. So Take Creative, you have already seen. I'm not going into details with that. Just ask me if something pops out for you, and we talk further. Coming to Fab Labs, those are our recent Fab Lab regarding activities. In the first row, you see it's called Bachelor and Master Projects. That has a lot to do with our digital media study program at the university. Within that program, you need to undergo, within Masters and Bachelors as well, a one-semester project in which about 15 to 20 students form a group and have one topic they are going to do research and practice on. And we did two bachelor projects within the Fab Lab. At first, we traveled to the School of Applied Arts we had in our town because they have a Fab Lab too. And now we have our own that makes it handy somehow. And the master project, Simon is in the master project right now, the program. It just started. And in the down row, you see some of our workshops we did this summer, a small student workshop with about 3D printing. And the most interesting I want to stress is the Schülerfirma. Maybe it's a program for 2 years now, in which the format, we didn't invent the format, we provide the space basically and our knowledge. The format is that students build a startup company basically, and by doing that they need to think of funding, they need to think of management, organization, product they want to sell, and this format has been introduced to schools in Germany, in some schools, and one school is doing a Fab Lab Schülerfirma. So it started this summer, and for the next 2 years they will be coming every week to our Fab Lab and to think of the product they want to sell and make it, of course. So talking about Fab Lab, our strategy is that we have, and our vision is that we have 2 Fab Labs basically. One is based at the university, it is already there, we have machines there, we have the environment there. In the workshop, it's basically the same space we use at the workshop, so lots of tinkering material we also use, of course. And we are about to open one in the city center where schools are close by, where it should be an open space and not just close at the university, but also in space for everybody. And of course, we plan to exchange knowledge between those. So I have a research-based Fab Lab at the university, at another one downtown. And we have some collaborations already with the Sportgarten. That's a sports club in Bremen featuring hip sports like skating and halfpipe, inline skating and BMX cycling, parkour, running and that kind of stuff. And we plan to conduct joint workshops with them and already got funding for it. I can say that now. And yeah, so the first workshops are already planned. That to us it's really interesting to get into the daily life and to the interests of children. Yeah, and schools for the formal learning part. So those are our next activities planned. So later this week on Thursday we have an Arduino workshop with the Schülerfirma, basically, where they get introduced to the Arduino stuff and maybe they can think of, because they already know our Fab Lab and think of maybe new products they might sell and consider for the growing company. And this month we have a workshop with another school. It's a design-based school, and there we are doing rapid prototyping workshops on how design thinking and the design approach might fit to Fab Labs. Then in December we have a workshop, Let's Make a Fab Lab. It's like ours today. We will invite designers, architects, students, teachers and researchers and think of how our downtown Fab Lab should look like, basically. And in January there's in collaboration with another university, Oldenburg, close by, we have a hands-on workshop where teachers actually build a 3D printer they can take home and use. Because you can actually buy those, I don't know if you know it, but you can buy construction kits for 3D printers for a couple of €100. And we do workshops that enables teachers to do it by themselves. Sorry?
Is it ultimately or a different kind? What kind of?
It's a MakerBot.
A MakerBot?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Anja?
yeah. I'm good. So those are our research questions, because you can't open a Fab Lab and don't know what you're doing, right? So we are trying to figure out what are the potentials, inherent potentials for digital fabrication in learning concepts basically. So what does digital fabrication, I mean, we all get excited about it, but what is it? What excites us about digital media and what's in it for learning and what's in it for the learners, right? And then what should the learning goals be like? Digital fabrication, is it design, is it technology, is it maybe something else? And then the environment, how should it look like and how should it be like, and how do we want to make the users, learners feel when they are inhabiting the space. And of course, what tools, meaning hardware and software, are suitable to fulfilling those goals. And now Simon is telling you something about the practical approach we took and some questions we had to, and puts we had to take within our Fab Lab. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good day everyone. So I just really want to shortly give you some aspects of the practical part of it, because Anja already told you a lot about the theory, and which I think is very, very nice, the theory behind it. But the practical part actually is the part that bugs us the most. And I'm dealing with the topic of Fab Lab since 2010. And there's so many changes always. So for us, we are now we're at the point where we still can't say, okay, this is a lab that we can say, okay, this is running. We're still looking. We're still looking for the tools and the constellations that work best for us. So as you can see, I have put it into for my aspect. For my thinking, is the tools and the room, or the space, better to say. And you can see there's so many, you can so lose yourself in the details. If you just go into the machines part, there are so many machines out there, you go crazy if you don't know where to start, because people tell you this is a good laser cutter, buy this laser cutter. The kids, they love it and they're gonna handle it very, very smoothly, and then you just realize, maybe that wasn't the whole story behind it. But so there, the machines is a big part. Software is the same issue. You have so much software out there. Arduino processing. There's just few of these, and text tools. And on top of that is that we in Bremen would like to use open source software. So for us, the topic of accessibility is very important, so that when students or kids come to our place, that they are able to use it afterwards, so that they not going to go there for 1 day or two, and then they come home and couldn't use it anymore. At the same time, design thinking tools like a whiteboard, how to brainstorm, how to just a pencil and a paper. That is something that you also, or what we would like to have in our Fab Lab, and what we actually also put into our Fab Lab, so that, for example, you wouldn't just for one cut, you wouldn't just start the laser cutter just to make a little rectangular or whatever. You could just do the same with a little knife and a cutting, something to cut on, and that still works perfectly fine. We try to tell the kids, okay, you don't have to use the laser cutter, but of course, if for other reasons, the laser cutter is quite good. So let's go to the other side of the rooms. There are some things that, it's a blurry picture, as you can see, the background. It's how do you design a Fab Lab? How do you have just, as you know it from as we know workshops, do you have just a tool corner and a bench, and then you can work and do manual work, or do you maybe want to have a hygge corner? You know, like I know you guys have a hygge a lot, so I think that is important too, right? So safety questions, fire, and how to handle a laser cutter if there's fire. It never happens, but it could happen. So you need like the usual safety things in the room. Interior design, what furniture do you use, and storage, where do you put your material, your electronics, everything that belongs to a Fab Lab. And of course, the most important, the restrooms. So I go to it's very dark, I see, but what you should see is a very not in order workshop. Maybe, it's very chaotic in there. And what we experience in our lab is that it's very easy and very fastly it's getting chaotic. And not in an ordered way, it's getting very chaotic. So it's the most important thing actually for maintaining a Fab Lab is, of course, the staff members, the people that work in the Fab Lab, teachers, students, or scientific people. They really deal with things that you actually wouldn't like to deal with, because there's, as you can see, a lot of cleaning after the workshops, after every session. The maintenance, a laser cutter or a 3D printer, they always need little adjustments, even though you think they should just stand there and work without anything, but you need to maintain them. And yeah, just general organizing. What do you do when many students want to use this laser cutter at the same time? How do you coordinate that? What do you tell them, and how do you organize it all? Yeah, so in maintaining a Fab Lab this is where we are now. It's really a struggle, and of course, if you don't have the money, and that is the case in Bremen, that getting the money is always the biggest struggle. So yeah, it would be nice to have more people to help. Because as I wrote here, that's actually one of the important things I wanted to say is the staff people, they are not only technicians, or they're not only Pädagogen in German. So yeah, they need a little bit of everything. They need to be technicians, they need to be also a little bit of social workers. Once in a while we have kids, teenagers, who are not so easy to deal with. Of course, we always have a teacher with us to help us, but yeah, and at the same time, you sometimes need to be a motivator, because sometimes you have kids who are just not interested in that all, even though some kids go crazy when they see a laser cutter, but sometimes you have kids who just say, well, you know, I'd rather be at home, or I don't know, I don't give a damn about technologies. Or so how do you get them to the point to actually see something good in it? Yeah, and then since this is our what we in the DMAP deal with a lot is the combination of Fab Labs and educations. You know, you might have heard that Fab Labs are not only the educational places, it's also for entrepreneurship, or there are other Fab Labs in the world that focus on different topics. So, but our main focus is really Fab Labs and education, and we want to do the research. So for us, it's the biggest question we have this great theory, and now how do we put it into the practice? And then in the end, how do we come back to the theory and can, you know, see how much truth is behind that, or how it really works? So yeah, there's a lot that we are. I will show you 2 examples now where it's maybe getting clear with what we deal here. It's really every workshop, every session we have is a new experience. After each workshop, we come out and say, okay, if you know, we have new insights, new ways of how we could do it better the next time, or what we should keep on doing. So one workshop I want to show you, it's really a pity that it's so dark, but anyways. This was a workshop last year in combination with the Fab Education convention we had. It was a workshop between Groningen in the Netherlands. There was an art school there, or yeah, some kind of an art school, and another school in Bremen. And the idea was just that we're gonna do make furniture online. And the kids were supposed to do some sketches, some prototypes, and then they should have remixed. Like the German kids should realize the prototypes of the Dutch kids, and vice versa. So that was really a nice idea, and it was totally, the kids were also very enthusiastic and everything, and also the teachers, they were very helpful. But it really brought us to the limits of what teachers and actually also the school kids could do, because it was so much preparation work. We were going to Groningen, and the Groningen kids were coming to us. So it was a lot of free time that they used, also for the teachers, of course. And then since we were using Google, the Google Hangout as a video conference, it was just such a big thing to everyone get a Google account, and then tell them how to use it actually, and not every school kid knew how to do it. So there were a lot of preparation involved, and then on top of it, when we worked and the final day at the workshop, the laser cutter didn't work. It was one of ours. Okay, so yeah, and there were many things that it was. everyone was very happy after the workshop, even though there were many trouble. But we as the organizers were really, really, outpowered, or how you say. And just due to time reasons, I want to skip to the Schülerfirma. This is our latest project. Well, also, it's every Thursday, differently. Schülerfirma, do you have any idea of what that is? Probably, yeah. So it's, kids get the chance to build up their own enterprise, their company, and they get for some time during the week, they get time to think about, okay, what could we sell a product or a service? And usually it's catering services or a pet service where they're watching dogs, something. They can come up with whatever they have in mind. And this year, one of the teachers and we were thinking, okay, maybe a Fab Lab could help with designing some things. And on the top right corner, you can see the kids, they're very new to digital or like creating a logo. So you can see on the right corner the logo that they created for their company. They made a sign for the school, and this is actually also the problem. Maybe you have read it at the Blickstein article. He's talking about this keychain syndrome, and we experienced that here, of course, too. I mean, this was a job given by the teachers, but they do a lot of keychains and signs. So it's very hard to push them to another level to say, okay, now you can do a door sign. Maybe next time try something else, try a box, or try something that goes beyond the door sign. So yeah, just there was a short overview of what we do and what we struggle with, and to come to an end, I think the time is over, right? Yeah. So yeah, thank you.